So, and sometimes these wounds, these emotional blockages stay with us, and we don't know how to unblock that. And so with energy work, you can heal so many of these stuck emotions that we have in our bodies, that it's really beautiful to see.
You're listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast with best-selling author Sarah Box. We focus on the mantra, no labels, no limits, no excuses. And now without further ado, please welcome your commanding coach with plenty of chutzpah and heart, Sarah Box.
Hey there, No Labels, No Limits podcast listeners. Welcome back. I'm Sarah Box, your host of the No Labels, No Limits podcast. And you know, we are on a mission to help individuals, teams, and organizations think outside the box, move beyond limiting beliefs, and create a profound impact in their own lives and in the service of others. And we do this by sharing accomplished and inspiring guests who have overcome their own challenges, learned through the process, and now come back and share their wisdom with us and kind of how that's affected their life. Because we all need a little bit of encouragement when the going feels like it's getting tough. And here's what we're going to do a little different today. I'm going to introduce our guest by her first name only. She has an interesting name. I spent time with her going, how do you like it pronounced? Just back and forth. But that led into a conversation. So I'm going to back that up and rewind it so you can meet her and her thinking, because that endeared me to her from the start. But just a little bit of details about her. She is a dynamic entrepreneur and holistic health and life coach. And she specializes in personal energy management and energetic leadership. So personal energy management, energetic leadership. Those are two topics that are on my mind, if not constantly, every day, because they're important to how we live our life and move through it. And at 52, she had a remarkable career pivot. She established herself between her two home countries, Germany, Haiti. She's not in Haiti right now, but she did that to follow her passion for helping women navigate life's transitions with confidence and vitality. She combines over 15 years of corporate leadership and a rich background in modern medicine and traditional healing practices. And her mission is to help mompreneurs overcome exhaustion, fear, and self-doubt through transformative energy work and personal development coaching, revealing the powerful queen within every woman. So I'm super curious to learn more from Isabelle. And we're going to talk about a number of topics: her journey, her personal transformation, the principles of personal energy management, the influence our own backgrounds can have on how we show up in our personal practices, and just taking away some golden nuggets that she's learned from life's challenges. So with that, as a brief introduction, let me formally welcome Isabelle to the podcast. And we're going to start, Isabelle. Let's go back to when I asked you, how do you like to pronounce your name? Isabelle? Isabelle? How? So let's start there and give me my language lesson.
Well, first of all, hello, and thank you very much for having invited me here today. Yeah, so my name can be pronounced in so many different ways, and I allow usually people to pronounce it like you would do in your language, because I was brought up between French and German and English, so you can pronounce it in all these different ways, and it's for me okay. It's totally okay.
So let's do your full name, right? It's Isabelle von Boetticher, right? Fouchard? What, am I even close?
That was pretty close. Isabelle von Boetticher Fouchard, yes. So I usually try to pronounce the von Boetticher pretty German, because that's the German part, and the Fouchard more French because it's the Haitian name. And but I allow, as I said, people to pronounce it as it's more comfortable for you, because I think it's like a name that can break your tongue if you're not from a country.
Well, yeah, the German is much more precise and punctuated in the initials, right? The alliteration of it, and French flows. So it's like, here we go, Isabelle von Boetticher or whatever, and Fouchard. And so it really takes practice on. For me, I think about it as like, okay, you start out smooth like a little wind, and then it picks up, and then you smooth out again like a wave. I have to do that in my head, but I love your name, and I like that it's multicultural in that. And let's start there. How did the background in German, French, all of that play into your young life and how you show up today? Like, how has culture played an impact for you?
Yeah, so I grew up with a Haitian mother and a German dad until age 16. I was living in Germany, but we've been always going forth and back between Haiti and Germany. And also my Haitian family was coming and seeing us. And my grandmother, specifically my Haitian grandmother, came and lived with us for a couple of months per year. So I grew up in my head as a German, but realizing that this is actually not German because there's so much Haitian influence and speaking French and going to Haiti and then seeing obviously people living so differently than we in Germany. So that was my normality growing up.
What's one of the best things you took from both sides of your cultural, from both of your family tree side that you're going, oh, I love this about this side and I love this about this side?
Okay, I love about the Germans that they are so punctual and precise, not just in their language, but in their being. So I'm somebody who's really on time when it comes like having appointments. I really appreciate that. And also being direct and precise and saying what you want and not going through all these different diplomatic things. But what I love about the Haitian in me is definitely, and I really like to specify Haitian, not French, right? Because yes, we speak French there, but we speak Creole, and so culturally, I'm definitely not French. I'm Haitian. What I love about that part is they are so, probably people would say Latin about everything, right? So like you can be late and it's not a problem, and taking serious things playful in life, dancing, all of this like really living your emotions. That is something that I love a lot about my Haitian side.
It's a vibrant side. Very vibrant.
You live also in this way of living and expressing your emotions. It's not like that you feel bad if you cry. People need to cry when they cry. If they are upset that it gets loud. And also you live together in different generations. If you go to a birthday party of a 20-year-old, you can bet that there are people between 6 years and 80. And it's completely normal that people hang out across generations and not just at family reunions. So like it's a very integrative culture and society. And I like that about Haiti and the Haitian culture. And food.
Oh, food, yeah. Talk food. Tell me your favorite food. Well, we really will get to your other topics, but this is the part of us being human, right? So like, what do you love about Haitian food?
I love about Haitian food that there's lots of fish and seafood. I'm not a vegetarian, but I mostly don't eat meat anymore. I think I only eat chicken every now and then. So I love the freshness of the fruit and all these tropical fruits that you have all through the year. It's amazing. Mangoes, pineapples, and all of these things, avocados, all of that. I love this. And their food is also, I like the spiciness, the different spices that they use. It makes the food really interesting. And there are also so many things in Haitian food that we don't know anywhere else. Like they have this little black mushroom that they call jonjon, and they tint the rice with it black, and then it gives it also a very nice mushroomy taste. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad I've had breakfast already. I'd be very sad otherwise. If this was before my dinner time, I'd be a little sad because then I'm thinking, well, we're not having what I was planning on having. I better find something better. So let's get into more about you. So one of the things I think is interesting is that you talk about like shifting what you were doing, right? So what inspired you to do that and really shift into this helping women and mompreneurs? Or I can't imagine you can help one without helping the other.
Yeah, I think there's so many shifts in my life, but I think the most important shift happened on different levels. I think I wanted a shift from the corporate world away. I wanted a shift away from my Western world life. And that happened somehow more or less at the same time, that I felt like a corporate career working from 9 to 5 that ends up working from 8 to 8, not being fulfilled anymore in my job, and really suffering also at one point physically from it, made me like, I want to work in a different setup. And at the same time, I've been always working in the European context of big corporate companies. And going to Haiti only on vacation, I felt like I want to go there. I want to live there because it's what I am as well. I'm not just German. And I want not just to live there on the beach and have the beach life, because I get that when I'm on vacation, but I want to explore how it is to live and work there, and also giving back, because I've been privileged to live and being brought up in Europe with this Haitian and German dad, great education, nice university studies. And I thought like there is something in me that feels like I want to not just live and work there, but giving back to the country that is so much in need, to see like what can I bring to them. So that is like this multi-layer shift that I had. And then came this other shift about like wanting to help women who went through the same personal women journey of becoming a mompreneur, right? So I have a child and I'm not happy in my corporate career anymore. And now on top of that, I moved from one continent to the other, and I am into menopause, and I have to take care of my elderly parents now. That is a lot, lots of shifting.
It is a lot.
Yeah. So and that for me personally only got together with being an entrepreneur and being able to work when I want to work, how I want to work, and being more the boss of my work life than if I had been continuously in a corporate structure where I felt already too much in a corset, first of all, which doesn't mean that working in a corporate world is bad for everybody, but for me then it was not the right thing anymore. And I also was not appreciated anymore. So I really was suffering from, call it the glass ceiling, or just like my bosses were not appreciating me. And that was really something I had to change that situation, because I was really starting to have so much stress in my life out of that work situation that is not fulfilling, but still very demanding, that I started to really have physical ailments, chronic diseases. And so I was really at one point thinking this cannot continue like that. So I really had to change something about my work environment and my way of working. And so the well-being was something that I was always interested in, and I pursued already yoga and did meditation. And at one point it was just like not enough doing this as a hobby anymore. I was just seeing how much it helps me, going deeper in these different knowledges about what well-being is actually about, and what can you do for your health, instead of just every time going to a doctor you have something and swallowing some pills. It's more about maintaining the healthy person that you have been actually born in this world. And so I started to investigate into deeper healing methods, obviously also when I was in Haiti, going into traditional healing methods, and revealing all the power that is inside of me. And that was so beautiful that I just like wanted to have other women feel that too, how you can tap into your own sources of energy. So that's probably what brought me to like really wanting to serve now others and help them finding the strengths in life, specifically when you are going through very challenging life transitions.
I think you just described so many women, so many women, right? When you add in like the menopause, the corporate, like that pressure, having parents or kids or being in the middle of it. I wonder if during that place, before you had like the ding, 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 we're changing this, I'm not going to deal with it anymore, whatever your internal dialogue was there a part of you that kept thinking, if I just stick it out a little longer, I can fix it or it'll get better? Or did you just say, I'm done?
I think I was pushed to it through my physical conditions. I just had explained, like, I had chronic disease. So like I was born with an eczema. And it just like got so bad at one time that I was really suffering from it. Plus on top of like these rashes that you get all over your body and in the face that you cannot even hide anymore from others. I had infections like constantly like bursting out and nobody knew what it is anymore. I was really in pain. I was literally in such a pain and was waking up in the mornings before the alarm clock would ring. You know, you haven't slept enough, or like at least it felt like you haven't slept enough, even though you had maybe slept 7 hours, but you still felt exhausted and tired. And so at one point I just couldn't ignore all of these signs. And I have to say I was very lucky to have this external business partner. We went for lunch for business and I just broke down in front of him. I couldn't anymore. And because like at home in front of my child, I had to be like the strong mother. I didn't want to show him how much I was stressed and not happy and in pain. But with this business partner, I was thinking it's not a colleague. I just couldn't hold myself together anymore. I was just like crying in the middle of this restaurant, all these people having business lunches around us. And I just like broke down there. And there and then he told me, Isabelle, if you are not changing your work situation, you're wasting your career and you're wasting your life. And that hit me because he was right. And that moment I understood he was right. I was like, oh my God, if somebody like this is saying that, it was really bad. So that's when I understood I have to change something. There's nothing else to lose. I mean, like, yes, it's a job, but I knew that I have to change something. So he kind of became a mentor, and then also I looked for external professional support, so not just family or friends, even though family were not even support, because my parents, like, you cannot leave that job, it's safe, you know, stay in it, and you have a child that you have to take care of, so nobody's going to hire you. And then at one point I was thinking that as well, you know, I was working part-time and taking care of my child, like, I cannot find another job now. So with the support of more professional coaches and other people who would see my potential, I had just applied for other jobs and got me out of this hole of darkness where you start also not believing in yourself anymore and being so miserable and so not self-confident anymore. I managed that, but again, not alone. Obviously, I had a really it was a journey of coaching, of support, of all kinds of investment in my personal development to believe in me and to do that first step. And again, it's not just I did this shift from there to today in one. So it was like I changed careers a couple of times more, and so it was every time a big step. But the first one was the biggest, definitely. Like after
years, like you're jumping off a cliff. The first one feels like you're free falling.
Totally.
And if you don't die, you go, okay, that's, guess what? I'm better off, right?
And it's so funny because like this first jump I did before it, I was so afraid of, I didn't even know how to express it. It was like, because this friend, he said like, Isa, what do you have to lose? Like, if you look for another job now, the worst thing that can happen, you don't get it. And then you just look for another job. And then what's the worst what can happen? You get it and it's not the good job. Then you look again for another one. And I was realizing that I had this fear of jumping, even not knowing why is it so limiting me? Like, why am I so afraid to jump? And I think it's because I was 15 years in that same company and just not knowing anymore how to do a change and starting it yourself, because all the changes that had happened in the past 15 years in my career had happened through my employer. It was not self-decided changes. And I think if we are not happy in an uncomfortable situation, but we are so much used to it, it feels safer to stay in it.
It's familiar. Right. Yeah. We know what to expect. Even if it's not good for us, we know we can expect certain things. that's why that first jump when you described it, and I want to thank you for being so honest. I know when I backed up and asked you to go deeper into that, it was like, oh, that's kind of deep. But I think it's so easy for us as women to overlook how scary that is. Like, and when you describe being somewhere where the changes, you got to do them within a relatively predictable and safe environment, even though it wasn't a healthy environment for you, that is so familiar. And I would imagine the people you help now relate to that. So that's why I asked you, not to be prying, but because I think that's important for people to know. It's not just like, oh, I made this decision. The other thing that I thought was so telling what you just shared was it was someone who was a business person, but not invested. Like they weren't going to be impacted by your decision. They were actually focused on your best outcome for you. It wasn't like, well, you shouldn't do that because whatever, right? And sometimes family, they love us and they want us to be okay, but they want us to be safe. And I had an uncle explain that to me once. I said, I don't get why my parents aren't in my corner like you are. And he says, because I'm not your dad, I'm not your mom, I'm your uncle. I can see bigger picture. I can also see why they're thinking, okay, that's kind of risky. She's got a really good job. I'm going. So we need those people who will say, hey, it's okay, try something. And it's really brave when you do that.
Totally. Yeah, I think so too. Like this thing of, and I'm a big family person, right? I love my mom. My dad passed away 2 years ago, but I loved him too. And they are very important people to me, but sometimes you have to see that they are still parenting you, and they will always do, even if they are over 80, you will always be their little girl. And it's also, as you said, they are afraid for you, and also they might have their fears.
Yeah.
And they have not done your life's journey, so they may be not understanding why do you want this change, and it's just like their own fears that they would put on to you by giving their loving advice, which is maybe not the helpful one, but it is a loving. It's
yeah. And I just people are like, I remember my mom, well, we just want you to be happy. I'm thinking, okay, but I'd really like a little more confidence there. She goes, you're going to have to just keep doing what you know. And she goes, don't worry about us. We're always going to be here for you. And, as a support place to land. So I thought, okay, well, that's something to know. I got a landing pad if I need one. And then many years later, I was in a very similar situation to you. But I remember the angst over like, should I stay? Should I go? And my husband said, just go. Your health is having issues, right? So I wonder if it's just a female thing often where we just go, we wake up and go, this is not sustainable, right? I'm choosing either my life or work, and they're not, So at any rate, thank you for going into that. So then you studied more in Haiti and you got those roots going. Can you talk about what you learned from that way of healing and health and the more holistic piece?
Yeah, I mean, the first and most important learning for me was that it is not either or. So I'm not like, since I dived deeper into the traditional healing methods now, saying like, oh, all the modern world things are not worth it anymore. It's more for me like a complementing. For me, it's if you want to make your journey and coming back into the forceful, powerful queen that you are as a woman, and you come from the Western world, you cannot just neglect all the teachings that we have had in the modern world and just like dive into I don't know, ayahuasca and all these different tribal and traditional healing methods. It's for me that the foremost more important journey was it is my journey, and I am from two cultures, so I have to absorb and allow the healing also to come from two different worlds and schools. So it's true, when I went to Haiti, that's when I opened up more to what I would encounter there. And I was just lucky enough to have these people who went on different traditional healing journeys themselves. And then I met a shaman. And so I was diving into this for my own healing. Now that I'm using this as well to coach and to help others, this is something that comes more naturally to me. It's not that I think you go through a school, like you do when you learn any kinds of leadership development schools in our Western university systems. But it is something that is very much in tune with your own journey, your own needs, and then you see how you can use that to now serve others. So.
Yeah, I think we do ourselves a disservice when we make everything black and white, this or that, only this, not that. And I know for me, very Western culture, and nothing really clicked until I started doing the inner work as well. It's like, wait a minute, you have to know yourself and what's going on here, health-wise, all of that, and also taking ownership of it, you know. So doing, like you said, doing what you could do to help yourself, and then learning more about that. So can we talk a bit about personal energy management with us?
Yeah, so that is something I probably discovered in the end of all my journey of self-discovery and self-healing and learning all these different methods. So personal energy management, let's say I would start with this concept of we don't have just one body. We have a physical body, yes, we know that. We have a mental body, we know that also. We have an emotional body, and we have also an energy body. And it's as simple as understanding that if you connect our heart, our brain to an ECG, you can measure the magnetic field of what our organs are and have. So like we are energy beings. It's as simple as that. It's not something esoteric. It is something scientifically proven. And so obviously we have an energy body. You can feel it. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. Everybody does, right? It's our intuitions. It's you feel sometimes good, you feel bad. That is energy that you're feeling. Emotions are actually nothing else than energy in motion. So personal energy management is just about understanding, first of all, getting to know your energy body. And once you know your energy body, you can also clean it and take care of it. And that's what I call personal energy management. So imagine like you get up in the morning and you take your shower, you take care of your physical body to get ready for the day. You can do the same with your energy body. It's about like cleaning your energies, letting your emotions flow through your body, not keeping them stuck. And you can recharge your energy so that you are in a high, and you can protect your energy body. All of these are tools and methodologies that I have learned for myself to be standing in my full energy. And that's personal energy management.
So if someone were to come to you, if I were to come to you, let me start with me, and we were to work together, what would you have me start doing around that type of work? Or would you start somewhere entirely different?
I always start with wanting to know why you come and see me. What is it that what brings you to me? So usually it is something, a pain, and can be a physical pain, but can also just like be something that you are not comfortable with, or that you feel blocked, or you have a relationship problem. So that's where I start, and we will talk about what you come to me, and then usually I do a diagnostic with my clients, which is a mix of, I do a Reiki session to see like the level of your chakras. Is the energy flowing in your chakras? If you're familiar with the chakras or not, I will explain to you, but I will definitely have a look into your energy body and to see what I feel. And I give a feedback to you about what I feel. And I can even do that without knowing you, and just giving to you what I feel is the level of energy in your different energy centers, which are chakras. And usually that will resonate with you, and you will feel things that I have told you are right, are true. And that's when we start, okay, now here we start working on
that. Like if there's a blocked area or somewhere where it's like tight, you start working there.
Exactly. So because it can have, obviously it's localized physically somewhere in your body, but there's always an energetic or an emotional attachment to it. Like usually it's like you have a certain anxiety or a fear, or there is a blame in you, or there is a past life wound or inner child wound of us. Like no matter how much our parents were loving with us, they might have done something that had caused a pain in our early childhood, and it's not that they have done something wrong. It's just like that happens. So, and sometimes these wounds, these emotional blockages, stay with us, and we don't know how to unblock that. And so, with energy work, you can heal so many of these stuck emotions that we have in our bodies. That it's really beautiful to see.
I was curious with the folks that you're working with, without necessarily talking about them specifically as individuals, is there a particular chakra that you find more common than another to be like kind of gummed up and blocked in us right now on the planet?
In general, right now, no, I think it really depends on the individual, but there are some chakras that stand for something very important, like the root chakra, which is at the bottom of our spine. The first chakra stands for safety and security and a sense of belonging. So obviously in what's going on in the world and what has been going on with the pandemic and lots of conflict and war areas, this is something that lots of people feel not safe anymore or have blockages. But obviously also like something like our heart chakra, which is in the heart center. It's our energy center for not just love, but also for compassion and also for self-love. And specifically in the Western world, where people work on high pace, you have unlearned to listen what is really needed for yourself. I mean, like what is self-love? Very often it's even mixed up with selfishness, and that's something bad. And I always say, no, wait, selfishness is something very good. It's that you always should take care of yourself first. So meaning, I think it depends a little bit on the times where you are personally living, in which environment, and obviously your personal path that will determine which chakras are probably more affected by certain energy blockages. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, that's helpful. I'm just wondering, like when you talk about the root chakra, which makes perfect sense, right? Our sense of wanting to feel safe and secure in the world. But also then I'm curious around the health aspects of that, then what presents for people? Like say that's really been a chronic area of scum up for me, if you will. What might I be experiencing that might make me go, I wonder what's going on with my energy beyond my physical symptoms?
Yeah, the thing is exactly like this connection of like, how do I feel in my body with where is my energy level, and how much can my body tell me that? So there's also lots of this kinesiology in it. So like these ways of having your body being able to give you answers. You're starting to talk with your body, having a conversation. You can tell you your body can tell you yes or no. So it is just a whole new way of becoming into wholeness and completeness. Because if you just take care isolated and individually of your physical health and your mental health, there will always be something missing. And I think everybody knows this feeling when you had to take a decision and it's hard to take the decision, even though like you have analyzed it from your mind and then you have listened to your gut feeling, and still you do not feel safe with that decision. You're not 100% sure. And then something happens and all of a sudden you feel 100% sure. This is when energetically you're also aligned. So like the physical body, your energy body, and your mental body, they have all told you kind of the same. When we take decisions out of this space, there's no doubt anymore. And you know this is the right thing to do.
As you describe that, I just think there are so many times times that I've been in that space where it's like I've analyzed. That's my tendency, is like, okay, I need more research, more information. I'll analyze it, right? But then you're like, well, I'm not sure, right? And I've said more than once, I'll let you know when I know, right? And I'm like, well, when will that be? I don't know. But I know that what I know, my knowledge, isn't the answer yet, right? So there is that part of like feeling it and going, okay, it's settled. It's settled, and now we go. And it was interesting, and you probably know this from all of your studies, but I was in a mastermind yesterday, and one of the women there from Germany, she's an amazing woman. She did a meditation for us, but her whole thing is the energetic body, as well as how that affects us, and specifically people who are highly sensitive people, right? She feels women in particular, but anybody who's highly sensitive, from whatever they've been told about themselves, kind of hide some of that, right? And she goes, it's an asset, it's not a liability. But she did this amazing meditation in front of our very business-like mastermind, which is like, everybody loves it. It's the best part of the meeting. But she said, I'm going to focus on the heart, because we've talked about energetic body and the vagal nerve and all that stuff. She goes, but your energy from your heart goes here, like out around your body pretty far. The energy from your brain, like close, it doesn't go that far. Your heart influences everything. And it was so, and I know that's not brand new, but there was just something about the way she did that. And then she did our meditation. We get into all this business stuff, but everybody's energy was so in a different space, and really great kind of connection with each other, and working on this one person's question, if you will. So I love what you're saying, and it resonates with me, even though I don't feel it's a place that I am I don't drop into it consistently, because my escape is to go back to my head. What do you think about this? So what tips would you give me to stop that being a reaction? Do I need to come see you?
Of course, you can come and see me. And I think what is important to understand is basically we are different, all different, in the sense of like some person are more in their heads and need to be more in their heads. It's not something bad to be a mental person. It's just we should every now and then check in also with our heart, so with our energy body, to see like if everything is okay, and not just like let your mind alone decide.
Well, our mind can make up pretty good rationale for whatever we want it to do.
Yeah.
I can find data to support any decision I want. If I'm going to be honest, I have to go a little bit deeper.
It's true.
So, I mean, that's what I really like about your integrative approach to energy and wellness, beyond that, and also helping women. So as we wrap this up, can you think of someone that you've actually helped that they had their own aha moment, and what that was for them?
Yeah, that was lately, actually. A woman, she contacted me because she was in a complete situation of overwhelm and exhaustion after, how should I say, years of living in conflict with her sister. And that kind of the peak was that they were having even like a legal fight about how to take care of the elderly parents. And it was really very exhausting for her, because it took so long, so many years that this was going on. And on top of that, in parallel, she was experiencing menopause, plus a job situation that was for her not bearable. So when she contacted me the first time, she just had quit that job that she just couldn't take anymore. And because of the whole personal situation, she said that she needs to somehow recharge her batteries, and if I can help her before she would even think of looking for a new job. So that's how she came to me. And so we went, as I just described, immediately I was just like looking at her chakras and giving her feedback. And this is a kind of feedback that goes deeper than just the situation that she's describing me, obviously. I felt things I didn't even know. I was telling her there was something in her throat chakra, for example. I felt like she's not giving herself a certain permission. This is also an energy that is centered here. And I didn't know any context. I was just giving that as a feedback. And also the self-love aspect. And again, with her too, the aspect of safety and security, not feeling safe and secure. And then there came up things about her family life that I could have impossibly known. And she was just telling me all the time that this is right. And she explained what she thinks, where it comes from. So she gave me the stories. And long story short, we started to work on healing these inner wounds that she had. And the beautiful thing with energy work is you can heal even conflicts that this person, my client, has with other people without even needing to contact the other people in real life. I mean, in real life, yes, energetically, we get into contact with the conflictual partners that she had and could, at least from her side, clear lots of blockages and heal a lot and just resolve and release things that she would not felt ready to address with these people in direct. So I think I worked with her for 10 weeks. Yeah, we did a 10-week program. And afterwards, she already throughout the middle of the 10 weeks, yeah, after 6 weeks or so, she started to look for new jobs. She was like feeling more self-confident again. And she got 2 job offers within weeks and was even so self-confident. And that is the beautiful thing, that she could let go both of them, because she saw like, yeah, but this is not what I want. I'm happy to see that I could have gotten these 2 jobs, but this is not what I want. I want something else. So she was continuing to look, and she found a solution with her sister in the way of that this conflict that is also rooted in her childhood is not affecting her so badly anymore. And she knew how to protect herself and her energies and just like take firm and confident action towards what she thinks is the right thing to do, not being so insecure anymore. So that was really beautiful to see, definitely.
That is beautiful. Makes me kind of want to cry. Just saying. As we wrap this up, Isabelle, I know that you have a meditation available on your website, right?
It is. Is it already out there? It's about to be out there.
Okay, well, we won't air this right away. So by the time we air it, it should be out there, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so for folks who are listening, that would be a great place to go and experience Isabelle. But then after that, Isabelle, what's one of the best ways for people to connect with you? Like, how do people reach out to you the most efficient and effective way? Let's go to the German side, efficient and effective.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, I have an Instagram account that you can contact. It's Isa Kaye, so at ISACAYAE. I'm also, you can find me with my complicated long name on LinkedIn. And I have a web page that is www.cayae.net. And I'm also on Facebook. I think that's about it. Yeah.
That's pretty accessible.
And an email, obviously. You can also contact me via email, which is Isabelle@cayae.net. So I'm reachable for sure.
And we'll have all those links in the show notes for you guys in case you're driving or doing something fun. Maybe you're swimming. Who knows? Don't worry about it. They'll be in the show notes so you can reach out to Isabelle. Isabelle, as we wrap this up, I want to give you the last word and maybe something that we haven't talked about, but something you want to leave our listeners with.
Oh, I want to say something like how I came across you, Sarah, and this podcast. And it was a show I listened to with Dr. Chanel Dubois. No, see, I'm doing the same as you. Dubois is her name.
Right. I had to have her teach me.
And it was really very insightful for me, because not just did she have a beautiful energy and explain something about like how the complete support system, like these 5 C's that she had, right? The comforter, the confronter, the challenger, the counselor, and also the celebrator, obviously. But it's more like that the support system is not something that needs to be united in one person. That was for me such a beautiful learning that I think I'd like to give others as well. And that you shouldn't be afraid to invest in a support system. So it means like it's not only friends and family, but you can pay somebody, a professional, to help you also, because it's an investment that you do actually in yourself. And so that is something that I definitely want to give people on the way. And with this comes one of my preferred quotes. I don't even I quote myself. I always say it. It's like to be passionate and to be focused and to stay open for the new and just be you. That is something that I wrote in a ring that I gave my son on his 18th birthday, and I live after that. I try to live after it every day. It is really the for me my golden rule.
I love it. Okay, No Labels, No Limits podcast listeners, take that away with you. Be passionate, be focused, stay open to the new, and above all, be you. So we'll take that gift from Isabelle, and we'll have all of her information in the show notes. Reach out. You know, if you enjoyed listening to Isabelle, please share this episode with a friend, someone else who needs to know about her story, because I know all of us will listen to something. Sometimes we'll take away stuff, and then we have that thing, oh, you know who else would like this? And then we don't do anything with it. We go, yeah, I'll remember to do that later. Don't wait. Hit the share button, copy the URL, forward it. I don't care how, but help someone else open their life up so they can be more passionate, more focused, and actually be themselves and be happy and healthy in who they are. So with that, we'll see you next week. No Labels, No Limits.
You've been listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast with best-selling author, change agent, and strategic business coach, Sarah Box. You can grab the show notes and find out how to work with Sarah at sarahbox.com/No Labels, No Limits podcast. We'd love this podcast to reach as many people as possible. Please remember to rate, leave a 5-star review, and share the podcast with someone you think would get value from this conversation. Till next time, keep taking those daily action steps to align your purpose to your principles and achieve your goals in business and life.